Let's have a look. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Yep. Yes, open it. Okay, welcome everyone to the monthly meeting of project management meeting of the archive work group. I'll just give a quick preamble. SingularityNET Archive contains a history of the archive activities of the SingularityNET Ambassador Program, and all content is provided under an open source Apache 2 license, and contributions may also be licensed under a Creative Commons license. We record these meetings as we go through the stand-up, and our goal is to provide a collaborative platform for the community to share knowledge, ideas, and best practices. And we welcome contributions from anyone. Our process is to review actions at the start of the meeting, then we go on to the project board. So I'll try to hang it over to you, Vanny, for the actions. Hello?
Yep. I'm just getting the summary tool up.
Shall I stop share
I
or
think I can share over you actually, so it's all right.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so I've started the summary for today, and I will add in who is here. And Ashley. Right. And I've already done the today's meeting issue and updated that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
All right, so decisions. We'll just run through decisions from last time and whether we can remove them. Yes, we decided that we'll meet monthly, and we are doing, so I think I can remove that. On the meeting summary tool redesign, we decided that the next key ease of use feature is the ability to output all meeting summaries for a particular work group for a quarter or for a period, and that's done, so we can remove that. For tool development for October, we noted that Andre has recently fixed a bug which caused some accounts not to be able to save a summary, and that's fixed, so we can remove that. And decisions on the August and September archive skip, but we noted there is still some delay with getting governance work group summaries up to date, and it's nearly there. Some town halls are still outstanding and need to be added, and some marketing guild summaries are missing. And we noted that whole thing about what marketing guild had minuted was actually not what it sounded like. So that's we still have a few things outstanding in September, but they're in progress, so we can remove that. Action items. The video walkthrough of how to use the GitHub board was done, and we can call it done. Stephen, you were to set a date in October for presenting the open source paradigm work, so it's now November.
Yeah, so I need to do that in November. So
You do. So I guess it's going to be a due date by the end of November.
yeah.
I mean, it's ready to go. You just need to set a date for it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give an
So,
update on.
all right, cool. When we get to it, yeah. Sucre was to finish updating the Ambassador Git book. I think it's done, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I might need to pursue her on that and just ask because I'm not sure. Um, yeah, and so it's the same. There's nothing to change in the text. Clement or Onyeka to announce the winners of the Good Meeting Summary Prize, and that was to be moved to paid. So that is actually done and was all finished. And then any further actions that come out of this meeting, I will add, and I will add tags and emotions. So save the summary, and that's that.
Sorry, I think I've muted myself. I've muted myself. Sorry, I think I've muted myself. Right, okay. Can everyone see the screen?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll go back to the going through the project board, and I'll just take it in order. It's ordered by labels, so start with development. That's a bit random. So the meeting summary tool redesign Q3 transfer to Q4. Is this just the, well, it is what it says it is it, Andre?
Yes, I added the. I'm busy adding the comment now. I added that
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
needed to export export all the summaries of the quarter for the work group.
Okay.
So if you're in the tool and you scroll down, you'll see you'll be able to select a quarter, and then you can export all the summaries for the quarter.
Cool. All
So
right, that is
that
useful.
feature has been added. I'm adding the comment now.
Cool. Okay, I'll let you add the comment and multitask. I'm moving on to the this is I can't remember if this is the issue for the presentation or not. Is it the issue for the presentation? Our open source paradigm.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, I mean, as you say, that needs to be changed to I'll end of November. The status is I'm nearly completing revising the script for this, and I was going to present it, but I also want to convert it to the SNet brand guidelines, so it's more acceptable in the SNet ecosystem. So say to
Food bid.
completed by end of November. Okay. So that's in progress. The there's a quarter three issue. Should there be a quarter four issue now?
If I remember rightly, this was moved to Q4. Scroll down a bit.
That's it.
Oh, okay. Or have I added a Q4 issue?
Yeah, I had a look the other day and I can't remember if I saw it now. Let me have a look. There isn't. No, that's it. So maybe an issue needs to be created, sorry, for quarter four. The status on this
That was
anyway.
right. I think I messaged you about the fact that we needed to clarify exactly what was going to be in that issue and what was in quarter one. So yeah, we just need to
Okay.
do that.
Okay, shall we wait for that clarification or shall I talk to it now?
Up to you. If you've got
Yeah.
stuff to say.
Yeah, I mean, and basically the work I've been doing recently is on the framing of the code in an active way. So like showing like textbook text to show, this is a vector store, to sort of like to take, a progression hand by hand. Some of the latter aspects of it are may change because the way that RAG technology is changing, and also the use of the sources may change because previously I was looking at JSON sources or common delimited text. And it occurs to me as we are progressing, it may make more sense to target open source repositories for various reasons. So Markdown source. So that's another slight, and also to take it in an open source direction. Yeah, so that is it on that. So there is going to be a slight pivot there. We're still looking at some possibilities. I don't want to mention them in this meeting because we're still very much in process. So that's something we can update as we, sort of evolve our thinking on this. Then we have a couple of tool development issues. These are just routine issues, Andre. Shall I open one of them, October?
Yes, October, I fixed that bug and I added AI Sandbox and GitHub PBL work group.
Right. Okay, that's cool. So that's
Yeah.
So open November. I mean that's the current month, so I would expect. All right, okay, here we've got the same update there.
This one, yeah, I had to make change the name. Onyeka asked me to change the name, and he also asked me to add a feature to the type of meeting. I've done that as well. I'll update that comment as well.
Is it a problem having those hyphenations there or slashes?
No, the slash is fine.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's unless you want to say anything more on that, shall I move on?
There is something. Oh, I'm gonna start working. I'll put that in the comment as well, but I'll just quickly mention that I'm gonna start working.
Yeah, sure.
I have to build a Discord bot so that I can get access to all the people's names in Discord, so that we can use the actual Discord names in the drop downs in the tool.
Right.
So that's one thing.
Oh, the
Yeah.
only thing about that though, like when we
Yeah.
met on Monday, Andre, we were saying that maybe in some cases, people are so not known by their Discord name that maybe it's better to just fix a name for some people. You know, it might not be their Discord name. Do you remember? We were kind of saying that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
So
we're going to have to go back through the entire archive and correct it.
yes. But so should we just have like a? Should I not use the Discord names? Should we just
I
fix
mean, I don't know.
the?
I think maybe we don't need a Discord bot for it. Maybe what we do is
Yeah.
we go through and we fix what the name is for each person. The person,
Yes.
I don't like talking about people when they're not here, but the person that I'm
Yeah.
thinking of in particular is Gorga, because
Yeah.
nobody actually seems to use his Discord name, which is something like
Yeah.
Greatness One. But in every meeting
Yeah.
somewhere, he's down as some variation of Gorga. So
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of correction to go through. And I know we did make that decision some time ago that Discord name equals archive name. But I
Yes.
think it's proving difficult. And for some newer documenters as well, they don't know what someone's Discord name is. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling that what we need to do is just fix a name for somebody and then have a
Yeah.
control vocab on that.
So what I can do, we can do that. I'll go fix their names. So when you click the drop down, it's going to show those names. But there can still be an ability to add a new one. But if you add a new name, it's not going to show up in that drop down until we approve it.
Mm.
So if a new person comes in and they add the new person's name, we can go and check, okay, this is a new person. Then
That's brilliant.
I'll add
It's the same sort of approach that we suggested using for tags, isn't it?
yes, yeah. So I'll start implementing those then once I think this names will be priority, and then I think you are still busy with the tags, finalizing the tags. So I think there's still work to be done there before we
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure. If that's all, I'll move on.
Yeah. I'll update the issue now.
Okay. The next one we'll go on to decisions like I have that label. The budget for it's about what we need to decide okay, for budget for. Okay. Let's look at the comments here. So the last update on this menu was budget fitting in October.
Yeah, I mean, token price is even lower than it was then. So I think there are we've just looked at it just before the meeting now, me and Andre, and it feels like yes, we have managed to jiggle it so that we've lost what we need to lose. But I'm
Right.
assuming that what I will do is what I normally do, which is to add to the budget sheet what we actually did when I come to write the quarterly report. So it's like, you know, people can compare what we put in for as against what we actually spent according to budget fitting. But yeah, certainly deciding to have monthly meetings has helped. And yeah, there have been a few like little savings that we've been able to make and a couple of things that we're suggesting pushing to quarter 1. So yeah,
Right.
pretty much there.
Okay. So it's pretty much not over, and other changes, as you say, have shown early signs of improvement in terms of, how like reducing the meetings and all that.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't know if it's worth saying, just as a general point, one of the things that has really wound me up about this quarter is that because token price was quite low, we broke our backs to put in a decently low budget request. Some work groups didn't. They just put in as high as they bloody liked. And you still have to do budget fitting, even if you've cut yourself to the bone. And that's, I hate to say it, but it feels like as a kind of overall program, we are incentivizing people to put in higher budgets than they really need because they know they're going to have to be budget fitted. We're really struggling here because we put in probably 4K less than we ideally would have needed because we were like, oh, token price is low. Let's not be fucking cheeky.
it
And
feels
not
like there's
everybody did. And like you still have to budget fit on top of that. So I don't know. I think this is outside of the scope of an archives meeting, but I think I'm raising it in a governance context that the system that we have is definitely incentivizing people to ask for more than they really, really need. And I don't know how we address that, but maybe it's something we talk about in treasury and governance. But
yeah. I know there's a lot of ongoing discussion about this. So I'm not really, I don't really know where that discussion is. So yeah, I suppose, yeah, exactly. Does seem to be issues about the nature of a level playing field, about consistency, and um,
I
you
mean,
know,
certainly an
or
overall budget cap
yeah,
might help, but
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not, yeah. So I think you've given a good update there, Vanny. And as you say, it's more in the hands of the governance work group and the treasury, I suppose. But
Mm,
I suppose this feedback issue here,
mm.
uh, I don't know. Maybe want to put a comment in there about that? I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm
Uh,
thinking is that it might have to be mentioned in our quarterly report because we
yeah,
have really struggled, and a lot of people sitting in this meeting now would have had tasks, paid tasks to do,
yeah.
but they couldn't. So,
I mean, for what you just said, it seems strange there isn't a consistency there. So but I don't really know how all the mechanisms work, particularly. So, in terms of the allocation of the budget. So, but it seems to me there should be some people shouldn't be behaving differently from others. Ideally, in an ideal world, it should be, I don't know. But I'm not privy to the discussion. Um, Yeah, so in the quarterly report, we should mention it. I agree, and because it's going to be a substantial issue that impacts the budget, isn't it? Okay, I'll move on to as I've said that, here's the quarterly report issue. So again, do you have anything more to say on that, Vanny, apart from what we just said?
no, just that I haven't started it yet. So what I will do is after this meeting, I will start a doc for it and I'll post it in the issue. And if people have got comments or things that they want it to cover, then add them. But it's got
Just
to be in by the 25th. So we've got like on 2.5 weeks, not long.
is it Peter's Christmas present? No, that's
Exactly.
yeah, you can't upset him. He's Santa is promising all people's budgets. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, gosh, it comes round quickly. Right, okay, well there it is, the quarterly report. So you're gonna make a start on that, as you just said, and then we're gonna kick off that process for Q4 budgets and reports. Quarter 1, this looks like an unpaid. Um, this is just here because something's unpaid, presumably? Yeah,
I can't remember what it is, but there is something
right.
that is unpaid in quarter. Oh, actually, maybe it isn't now. Let me look through it after the meeting, and I'm pretty sure actually we have paid everything from quarter one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's obviously there because, yeah, it's there for some
Yeah.
sort of reason, but maybe
I
it's
think
just
what
a
was
kind of
outstanding, what may have been outstanding was an archive
Oh,
issue or something, but
the March. Remember those March?
yes, that'll be it.
r-
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's fixed now, I think.
okay,
All right, I'll go through it and this can probably be closed. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have our archives Gitbook issues, which are only open. This is the August one. So there's SE's update.
Yeah,
Um,
we're a wee bit behind, but I've been ticking them off. There's definitely more that I should have ticked off, so I'll go through them tomorrow.
okay,
But some of them are still governance meetings, and we're still a little behind with some of those. So
okay.
yeah,
What
but quite a
progress
lot of
is
them have been done. Oh, there was a question about Strategy Guild. I can't remember when they started meeting again because we've got Strategy Guild meetings that haven't, as far as I know, been submitted. So I'm going to have to just ask them exactly where they were at because I know there was a period where they barely met. So
okay.
unless anybody else here is in Strategy Guild and happens to know.
I take that as a no. And this is before the new work groups, isn't it?
I'm not sure. That's the thing.
I'm thinking of the GitHub EPL and things like that, but the
Oh, I see. Sorry, I misunderstood what you. I thought you meant the new strategy guild, but yes, it is.
yeah, okay, I'll won't talk about that. August, July. Oh, that's before July, so that's presumably, let's have a look. Again, does that just need to be updated?
Yeah, I mean it's just governance and town halls. This is an issue actually. It does slow me down, like having to actually do deep funding town hall, and I'm wondering how much people think that we should still be documenting it. I mean, it is interesting and it's nice to
Hmm.
have it in the archive, but I don't know. Has anybody got any thoughts?
Speak now or paste in chat if you have any ideas on this. Um, or comment on it later. It feels to me that it's a bit odd that we're taking the cost of that a bit. I'm not sure.
That's a
So
point, actually, yeah.
it'd be nice to have
Yeah.
some support. Well, I'm not saying we shouldn't stop doing it because there's two things there. One thing is this, it gives you an indication of the archive work group is not inward looking. It's like it's aiming to sort of serve the entire SingularityNET community, ideally. But in doing that, there are crossover issues of cost,
Mhm.
and resources. And I'm not saying we should demand anything of this, but maybe some support would be appreciated. I'll
I
just
mean, I
put it
can
that way.
certainly ask because it's not a lot of money. I mean,
Hmm.
a meeting summary is, $20 to $30.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody quite often does do timestamps, but often they're not very detailed. They're not very good.
Yeah.
And if
I
you're gonna,
mean,
if I'm gonna take like 5 minutes to put a meeting summary in, it's barely worth having it at all because it will be inaccurate and it won't really tell
yeah.
you anything. I mean, all right, yeah,
Would
it
it?
means that we add the video, so that's something. But you know, videos on their own are really inaccessible because
Hmm.
if they're not properly timestamped, nobody's going to look at them. So
Yeah. Yeah. The
I don't
timestamps
know
had. Yeah. Sorry.
if we could maybe ask whether deep funding could put some money towards it, then we could pay somebody in this work group in quarter one to do them.
Yeah. Would it be appropriate to raise that in the focus group or that's
I
not
can
appropriate?
try. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
try.
I mean, also just kind of like as a kind of positive thing, really. It's like, it provides a service to deep funding. And it's like, and I think we should just, we shouldn't say, oh, this group should only do that and this group should only do that. I think crossover is quite healthy, if it's useful, and but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm just thinking the only obvious fly in the ointment is how that payment gets made, because there's
yeah,
always issues about the ambassador program not really having any legal status. So
right, okay,
if deep funding money is coming, whether it's coming direct from the foundation or whether there's a separate thing that is called deep funding, it's still how do they pay us?
yeah. I was also thinking tangentially about if there's any non-financial support. I'm not sure how useful that would be. In terms of like advocacy for us or something, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, people need to be paid, don't they? So maybe that isn't useful. Maybe it's something that needs to be considered when we look at the budget again. And then there's like an apportionment for not just our work group, actually, of collaboration, maybe between different parts of the ecosystem. I'm not sure.
I mean,
Again,
Yeah,
that's
has anyone else here got any thoughts on this?
I I agree with what the last thing Steven said is to
yeah.
maybe allocate for
Please,
out
I'll
the groups outside ambassador program.
Did you have some thoughts on this, Essie?
except, everybody's still getting used to it. Even if they have to put on a timer as an alarm, that I also think it's still tomorrow. So maybe let me reach out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to echo what Essie and Andre's sentiment there that we're not an island. There are other parts of the ecosystem, and it's actually would be healthy to. Well, I'm not sure how that would work in terms of the archive budget, as you say, Manny, because of kind of walled garden sort of stuff going on. But to encourage, I to have a bucket that was assigned to, and this is for all work groups, by the way, assigned to cross ecosystem collaboration, I think would be very healthy. But yeah, we probably should move on from that. So the where are you on tag taxonomy Q2. We now have a list of, gosh, my spelling is not very good. We now have a dupled list of tags.
It's
Okay.
perfectly correct. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what that means, that word.
Obviously, we had a lot of duplicates,
All right, all right.
so we had to strip them out and come up with an actual list. But yeah, we've got that same process about new tags in place. So I think I just need to get the list to Andre, and we just need to actually look at how we're going to add it to the templates. And
Okay.
yeah,
So that's a possible development feature then as well, add to the template.
yeah,
Added the control deck. Yeah, okay. So that's already well known, yeah, Andre. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
Okay.
going to be similar to the Discord names. I'll just go into the database and add all these tags
Okay.
and give them like a approved rating. So people
Hmm.
can add new tags, but they won't appear again. Only these ones will appear.
Okay.
I mean, just to keep people in the loop about one of the things that I've noticed is that people tend to tag with things like budget, and it would actually be
Yeah.
also useful to tag with Q4 2024 budget, so that we can, if somebody was searching specifically for information on a particular quarter, they can find it. But also, if they just want budget information generally, they can find it. So yeah, it's not that intuitive. You might think, oh yeah, tagging with budget is enough. But I think
Yeah.
if we're looking at like database type searches rather than AI type searches, being able
Yeah.
to find the specifics of the quarter you're looking for is quite useful.
As an aside on that, I noticed I was looking at the organization book organization for the archive, and it now shows what searches have been done on the Git book. So are you aware of that, Vanny? Sort of yeah. So yeah, okay. Well, it just showed some common words that people were searching for, and I thought that was just slightly interesting. It wasn't a lot of them, but yeah. Anyway, I'll just mention that. Where are we now? Okay. This is again probably a budget issue because of an outstanding yeah, here we go. Task. Is this again something in the pipeline or something that just an admin issue that we
think the issue we were just looking at is technically sorted.
right?
So
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have the should we go through the archives Git book? Okay, we have the archives Git book issue for September, which we again yeah, this needs to be updated, presumably.
No, actually, quite a lot of these we haven't had. Governance, I've already said that there's a backlog which we need to sort of make sure is uploaded and fixed. The problem is governance is a complicated thing to document, and there was a phase where we were seeing documentation as an entry-level task, and people who didn't really get it would document. And so when I came to approve them, I could, they were kind of very thin. There was a lot of things that I know were in the meeting that were not mentioned in the summary and blah, blah, blah. So it just feels like we're now on board with people with a bit more experience of doing the documentation. But
how are you doing now, though?
what?
I'm better, my dear.
Carry on. I think that was maybe background
Oh,
noise.
is that? I thought that was a question. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, sorry, I muted that, but if I did it, I can unmute it if it's not.
Okay.
Putting comments.
Yeah, I'm just keeping people up to date really with like why there's a delay. So it got to a stage where every time I went into the tool and I was like, oh my God, it's gonna take me 40 minutes to correct this
Yeah, which is not
before I
good,
can
is it?
approve it. So it's just been really slow. But yeah, the other ones, there's a couple of things in there that maybe we don't document. And I think there's a couple of LATAM. I don't know if I don't think anyone here goes to LATAM. I might have to ask Guillermo about it. But the meetings they have and the dates of the meetings they have don't match the dates in the calendar. I think they kind of meet quite ad hoc. So what we've got doesn't really match what they've met. So that's why there's an issue there. But
Yeah.
other ones, yeah, it's mostly governance, and there's a couple of odd ones like the odd video or the odd LATAM.
The work group syncing call, is that now regular? Or
Yeah, they're monthly and they're kind of documented under governance. So it's part of the whole governance nightmare.
I think he raised an interesting point there about capability related to, having a certain level of skill required to document certain meetings. And does that vary between different work groups? Would you say that some work groups?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, some are easier than others.
So again, that's something do we need to mention that in our report, or
Yeah, it's a good
kind
idea.
of because it may have like budgetary implications in terms of who we prioritize for allocation. Like for example, if it requires someone with prior knowledge and experience to document a meeting, then that may be more of a cost. Maybe I'm not sure. That's maybe an assumption there, but yeah. Okay. Q3 again. This is probably an issue definitely an issue that's open because of outstanding. And you mentioned a link to budget fitting, but presumably there are outstanding issues that need to be closed before this is closed.
Yeah, there's a fair bit on quarter 3.
Yeah.
We did actually add that budget fitting link, so I just need to mention it's actually in the budget that is in Tevo's planner. So yeah, I'll just correct that, and then I think we can Obviously, there are quarter three archive issues still outstanding.
Yeah,
always.
absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah,
because we're just come out of, well, it's only been a month, hasn't it? And then there's the book issue for October last month. So again, similar. This has been more updated by the looks of it. Is there any particular thing specific to October you want to raise, Vanny, or?
no, I don't think. I mean, the outstanding ones, there are governance ones. There's a couple of African Guild ones which are in there, and I need to tick.
Okay.
And writers, I think I can tick. I think they've been done.
Okay.
So yeah, it's actually quite good. October, I think.
Very neatly laid out, I must say. I like it. The GitHub approves.
I suppose what we could say also is obviously this quarter has been done without ESSO's help or intervention, and yeah, it's certainly. I don't know. I think you raised it yourself, Essa. You said that if you'd had admin access and you could have seen what had been approved and what hadn't, it would have been a lot smoother. And we just never thought of doing it. So it ended up that I would have to tell you what had been approved and what was waiting for approval and why, and then you went and chased them. And that was a bit clunky. So if we reinstate that process again, we would give you admin access and do it that way.
I'm not sure if Ash is here anymore, but the
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
but okay. But okay, that's those issues are for the record. Then we have the ambassadors. You, Sukri, do you want to talk to Sukri? For Q3.
Hello,
Vanny?
guys.
Hi, Sukri.
I'm here.
Yeah, I
All
see
right,
you.
so yeah, so far the ambassador guidebook is up to date. Okay. The only
Okay.
thing that is missing is there's no information about moderators who are group, and I'd asked Peter if he wanted me to put something about it in the guidebook.
Cool.
But yeah, he was like, no, not yet. So that's the only thing that's missing for now. But
Okay.
I'm sure once it starts budget proposals again or whatever we get to do for next quarter, then we start updating it once again. Yeah.
Is that also updates to the new work groups, like as well, in terms of the list?
Yeah. All the new work groups are there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's good.
But this is actually the Q4 issue, isn't it? So this is the current issue. But I think, is there not one for Q3 that's still open and that we should close and pay, or have we done it?
Looks like it's closed. Let's see if I can find it.
Let me just search.
This has been closed by, gosh, there's lots of issues. If you could search, yes, because there's lots of issues there.
Yeah, if you search for ambassador update,
Yeah.
Q3 is closed. Sorry, I was just wanting to make sure.
Okay.
Yes, it's done. All right.
Closed and
I just
paid.
I just wanted to make sure that it had been paid. All right, good.
Yeah, it's paid.
Sorry, I should have just asked you, shouldn't I?
Okay, good. There is also the human element. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no, let's not ask. Let's just check this computer. Okay. That's the issues. I can stop the share and I'll stop the recording in a second and just ask if there's anything else anyone wants to raise briefly on the record, as it were.
Well, there is an issue on the board, surely, for the Q1 budget, and I guess this is the last chance we'll have to talk about it. So,
Q1 budget.
I definitely added it.
What am I missing it?
Oh, right. Maybe I didn't. I thought I had.
Yeah. Well, you mean Q1 2025?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Oh, that's weird. I really thought I added that.
It potentially may not. Is it up here? It's in not to do. Maybe.
Oh, wait. Maybe what I did. Let me just see.
It could be because it's not in the category.
No, I think what I did was I titled it wrongly.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, in the end, we should probably have some kind of a conversation about the budget. We've started roughly looking at it, but we haven't got anything that we can really go, ta-da, this is the finished budget. But because token price isn't great at the moment, I think we're still going to have to take the same sort of approach as we took this quarter, which is monthly meetings and quite a focused, there's not going to be a lot of community engagement. We've been talking about like the tool development approach and building on Ubio's work in Q3 and whether we can build on that whole sort of applying human generated tags to the archive, which is what he started researching. But it feels like something that would actually tie in with what you've been doing, Stephen. So it might not even be like Ubio doing it. We are sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say that we were also, I won't go into detail because we're also, there's a lot of discussion going on in our core group about future direction of open source development and new possibilities there, so I can't go into a lot of detail because we haven't really, we're just figuring out that direction. So I suppose when we come back in December, early December, we can give more meat on the bones there.
It's too late by then. It will have been submitted. It's got to be submitted on the 25th of November. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I guess we'll have to do it and yeah.
But again, I'll put the draft in the issue and people can have a look and comment and I'll note that it's there. But looking at the sort of what we tend to do is split it into regular tasks and one-off tasks. And looking at the one-off stuff, we have been talking, about obviously there's some work carried over from this quarter into the next quarter about the meeting summary tool redesign, and maybe we will be able to focus that on this whole question of developing control vocabularies and applying human-generated tags. And Andre, I don't know if you want to say anything about this, but you've been talking about the idea of a kind of dashboard for decision management and whether we can do something comparative between database searches and AI-based searches. I don't know if you want to say anything about that idea or.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought it up because we need to decide what we will name this thing. So it will just be a dashboard where you can filter, you can search and filter things. So if you go on the dashboard, you can choose, okay, you want to look at decisions, and then you can select filters. Okay, you want to see decisions that affected everyone. You want to see decisions from this work group, so it's just it's a dashboard with lots of filters and search bars if you want to search things in the archives.
That sounds useful. Yeah.
So I think, what we kind of were calling meeting summary tool redesign is kind of, some of the work that would have been that will be dashboard kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're also thinking that we might try and put a little bit in for kind of educating documenters and publicizing the redesign, because if there are things that are new, we might want to go, oh, look, new feature, this is how you use it, blah, blah, blah. So we might try and put something into the Q1 budget for that. I don't think we're going to reinstate kind of intra-work group communications. My feeling is, people who are keen, they know when the meetings are. They're only once a month, so we don't need to like chivvy people. But we might try and reinstate general archives publicity if we can, maybe focusing on trying to reach the archives and record keeping world, but that might not be something we can afford. Updates of the Ambassador Git book, I think, stay in at the same price as they were. Wider ecosystem outreach. We had this idea for like 2 whole quarters now to try and do some work on reaching out to the spin-offs, the rest of the ecosystem, to see if we can help them with their record keeping needs. So I would really like to try and get that into this budget, but I don't know if we can. We've been thinking about the idea of, it feels like we really do need an AI ethics policy or a kind of ethical stance. And we do need an open source policy written. So I think we're going to look at that. And there were also a couple of things that have come up through workgroup sync calls, which have been around the idea of rather than trying to have new work groups for tasks like design, documentation, facilitation, what if there was a network of people who had the tag to do that? And some of them would be in every work group. So if you need a documentation task done, you are giving it to people who have the skills to do it. This addresses this whole thing about governance work group and how you do need a bit of experience to be able to do that task. So yeah, this is kind of like a tentative thing that a few different people in a few different corners of the ecosystem have been talking about. And obviously the overhead is to how do we decide who gets the tag? And that could be something that maybe we do a bit of budgeting for in Q1 that Archives Work Group could work on. And in a similar way to the way that Clement and Sukra and Onika kind of worked on good meeting summaries, we could build on that to kind of go, all right, how do we decide who gets the tag? What are we looking for? So I don't know what we need to budget for it, but it's something that maybe we could put in.
Right.
Only a small amount.
And all this is going to depend on the budget process itself and the allocations, etc., etc. So yeah.
Stop up down now. Let me see this.
Sorry, what's that?
I think it
But-
was maybe
okay.
an accident.
An accident. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, well, I think that wraps it up. I'll stop the recording. Coming up to the hour. I'll stop the recording now.